Listen up, everybody. This is what we call a tease. Tease, to annoy or vex, to make fun of playfully, to tantalize. We will tease you, the viewer, with videos simply enticing you to watch our show.
And that's a tee shot.
Hey, I'll make that decision.
Look out on the sea of tranquility.
Griffey versus Coors. Who's the victor? No more in history. Is the chase still on? Will Junior play? Is prime time ready for the weekend? We know the answers, but you don't. You are being teased. A major upset at the Open? Or did the favorites all roll?
The boat starts rolling.
Sit back and enjoy Irvin Magic Johnson. Actually, he isn't in the show. I just wanted to see him play. Remember, everybody, it's a tease. Might not be fair.
Oh, baby, what a grab.
But it's effective. You're still watching SportsCenter. Let the action begin.
Hi there, this is SportsCenter. Bill Pidto along with Andre Aldridge.
As we lumber towards Labor Day, the NFL's big hitters are getting ready for Sunday. The big men on campus are falling in line to strut their stuff on Saturday. But our work begins with the dog days of August as we see who's carrying the big sticks in baseball.
Yeah, the two teams that go deep the most again in Colorado. Seattle and Colorado are the top two homer hitting teams in the majors. Andres Galarraga stole the show Thursday, drilling a 487-foot blast, the longest in Coors Field history, before the biggest crowd in Coors Field history, 50,269. Says Galarraga, that was exciting, especially with the fans we had. It was something special. Same two teams again from Colorado. And we begin with the power. Bottom of the second, Vinny Castilla, 37th of the year. At that point, tied with teammate Larry Walker for the NL lead at 37. Tied at 2. Next inning, Rockies down 1. It's Walker, though, regaining sole possession of the homer lead. His 38th of the year. We're tied at 3. 2 batters later, Andres Galarraga. He did it again. 36th homer of the year. Way back there, 4-3 Colorado. Rockies, though, still down 5-4, bottom 8. Larry Walker's on third. Dante Bichette grounds to Joey Cora at second. Walker breaks home, and he's called out at the plate. Didn't like the call. Watch it again. He had a right to be upset, did Walker, because he was clearly safe. As it is, though, he's called out. Bottom 9, Lou Piniella says, you know, my bullpen is dicey. Quentin McCracken's on first. Nefi Perez rips a triple off Mike Timlin to the gap in left. McCracken comes home from first to tie it at 5. And Perez is going to go to third. So McCracken's in, Perez is at third, and we're tied at 5. Next man up, the pinch hitter, Todd Helton. Base hit to right. Scores Perez, and the Rockies win in dramatic fashion. The final score 6-5. Another collapse by the Mariners bullpen. Seattle is now 0-6 on the road in interleague play. Castillo, Walker, Galarraga homer for Colorado. You saw that. Paul Sorrento went deep for Seattle. Ken Griffey Jr. doesn't homer in the 2-game series. He goes 2 for 7 in this series. The Rockies sweep the 2-game set in Colorado. This after Seattle took 2 from Colorado in Seattle in June. In this series, Colorado out-homers Seattle 5-3. The Rockies' slugging percentage an impressive .592. Angels and the Padres. Top of the third, Ken Hill is a batter.
1 ball, 1 strike to Ken Hill.
Pitcher bunts it in the air. Ken Caminiti whoops, throws to first, and then the throw from first hits
Kruder in the back.
Kruder in the back. No runs, however, would score. Top of the fifth, still scoreless. Runners on the corners, 1 out. Gary DiSarcina lines at the third. Caminiti atones. Goes way up, makes the grab. 2 outs. Next man up, Ken Hill. Again, the pitcher. And look at this. To the left center field gap, 2 runs would come in to score. Hill ends up with a double, and the Angels take the lead by the score of 2-0. Bottom of the fifth, Pods down 2-zip, runners on the corners. Kilvio Veras, the chopper towards third. Hill comes off the mound, makes a stop, then throws home, and John Flaherty's out at the plate. And the Angels win at 3-1. So the Angels now trail the Mariners by just a game. Ken Hill the win. His best outing since being acquired from Texas. Hill gave up 4 hits and carried a shutout into the 9th inning.
Now that Carl Lewis has officially retired and may have some spare time on his hands, maybe he should call the Los Angeles Dodgers. In the span of a couple of weeks, the Blue Crew has adopted the motto, "It's okay to be fast." The additions of Eric Young, Otis Nixon, and Darren Lewis have changed the complexion of their offense. Going into their game with the A's Friday night, the Dodgers had scored in the first inning in 7 straight games because of the table setters. And the A's, Brad Rigby, taking care of business. Bottom of the third, Greg Gagne lines this one to the right field gap, and the great catch by Matt Stairs. Indeed. Same inning, Rigby getting some more help from his defense. Mark Bellhorn bare hands the slow roller by Ishmael Valdez and guns the runner down at first base. Good scoop by Jason Giambi. A's trailed 1-0 though. Bottom of the 7th, tied at 2. Eric Karras saying high, deep, far, and bye-bye now. His 26. Dodgers up 3-2, but this would go to extra innings. And we go to the top of the 10th. Miguel Tejada facing Antonio Osuna, and Tejada singles to right field, and that'll drive in a run. The A's were on top 4-3 and feeling good about things. Well, bottom of the 10th, 1 on, no outs. Darren Lewis, second game as a Dodger, facing T.J. Matthews. Bunts, and Matthews threw it away. Everybody's safe. Greg Gagne at third. Dodgers still trailed by a run, 4-3. Same inning, bases loaded now for Otis Nixon. Hey, no need to set the table. I'll just bring the meal home for everybody in Southern Cal. A double to left center. Gagne and Lewis score. Dodgers come back and pick up the win. 5-4, the final score there. Crowd of almost 44,000 saw the Dodgers complete a 2-game sweep of Oakland. Ishmael Valdez pitched 7 innings for the Blue Crew, allowing just 2 runs on 3 hits, striking out 5 and walking only 1. The Dodgers' interleague record now stands at 8-4, while Oakland drops to 6-6. Giants hosting the Rangers. Johnny Oates in Texas up 2-1 in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out when Rick Helling lost control. Jeff Kent seeing balls 1, 2, 3. And 4. Okay, new batter, J.T. Snow. Balls 1, 2, 3, and 4. Ouch. Glenn Allen Hill. Rick, over the plate, please. 4 straight balls there. 12 consecutive balls. Here comes Johnny Oates, and we're going to the bullpen. Now, after a fielder's choice to tie the game, Danny Patterson facing Brian Johnson, and Johnson hits it into the hole. Benji Gill makes a great play, but Lee Stevens pulls his foot off at first. Dusty Baker likes the call. Domingo Cedeno does not like the call at all. Let's take another look. Johnson slides in the first, and Stevens pulls his foot off. Tough call. Bottom of the 8th, Texas 4-3. Runners at second and third. Patterson facing Jeff Kent, and Kent hits it to Gill. Throws to third to get Barry Bonds. Bill Miller scores. Game tied at the 4th. Bottom of 11, bases full for former Ranger Darryl Hamilton. 2 out. Grounder to Benji Gill at short, and he picks it up, and he's hustling, and he is out at first base. Hamilton can't believe it. Unbelievable, but there's the ball, and there's the play, and another tough call. Bill Hone, the ump, at first base, earning his keep. Bottom of the 12th, runners at second and third. Eric Moody facing Jeff Kent, and he singles, and that brings Bill Miller home, and the Giants rebound from maybe their toughest loss of the season on Thursday night when their closer Rod Beck could not get the job done. Giants improved to 8-4 in interleague play and keep pace with the Dodgers in the NL West, still trailing by 2.5 games.
The year was 1969. It was the year the Mets made a miracle, a stunning 5-game win over Baltimore in the World Series. Don Clendenin was the MVP, hitting .357 with 3 homers and 4 runs batted in. Jerry Koosman, the pitching star, going 2-0. 28 years later, it's the Mets and O's in interleague activity, and New York is getting close to needing another miracle. The Mets trail Florida by 6 games in the wild card race. Davey Johnson, by the way, made the last out of the '69 series, now the manager of Baltimore. Bottom of the 6th, the O's down 3, bases loaded for Cal Ripken. Critical situation, and he pops it up. Edgardo Alfonso in foul ground. I got it, and he did have it. Bottom 8, O's now down 1. There are 2 out. Ripken comes back, getting his revenge. It is way back and gone. His 15th home run of the year, ties a game at 3. Bottom of the 11th now. Ripken's on third. Bobby Valentine brings the infield in. Come on, everybody. And Jeffrey Hammonds chops one to short. Ray Ordonez comes to the plate. Ripken is out at the plate, so we're still tied at 3. That's the score, bottom of the 12th. John Franco in, runner on third. Ripken the batter. And Ripken comes through, drives a Franco pitch to the gap in left center. And that's that, as the O's beat the Mets 4-3 in 12. The O's coming back to win their 7th. In the last 9 games, the O's now have won 8 straight games in extra innings. The O's now 8-2 in interleague play. That's tied for best in the majors. And the Mets are now 2-8 against the American League. Expos and the Yanks. David Segui to right off Dwight Gooden. Paul O'Neill bobbles it. Mike Lansing scores on the base hit, 3-1. Bottom 7, 3-2 Expos. Chad Curtis grounds to short. Mark Rudzelanek backhands it in the hole. Long throw to first in time. Carlos Perez says, yeah, that's good. Top of the ninth, tied at 3. Doug Strange bloops it. Marais Sanchez boots it, throws it away. Strange takes second on the error. 2 batters later, Rudzelanek comes through. His 46th double of the year. That leads the majors. Strange scores on the play, and the Expos go on to win 4-3. The Expos now 8-2 in interleague games. That's the best record in the National League. For the second straight game, the Yanks lose because of an error in the ninth. A no decision for Dwight Gooden, who pitches well, giving up 8 hits in 7 innings. The Yanks now trail Baltimore by 7.5 games. The wild card race right now in the American League, the Yanks, as you see, lead Anaheim by 6.5. The 2 teams do not meet again this year. Anaheim is only a game out of first in the West. That's their best bet for a spot in the postseason.
Pete Sampras is the 2-time defending champ, an odds-on favorite to win everything at the U.S. Open. But the fact that he's the top seed really doesn't work in his favor. 8 of the last 9 top-seeded players did not win the championship. And you'd better believe second-seeded Michael Chang is aware of those stats. He'll take lucky numbers and even psychic friends if it means a little title. Chang was working against Jeff Salzenstein Friday night, and we take a look at the action. Mr. Chang focused there. Salzenstein serving in the near court, and Chang will make the great save on the Salzenstein volley for the point here, and Chang goes on to win this for 6-6-2, 6-3, and 6-4. Also working after dark, Andre Agassi in the forecourt here, facing Adrian Vanea in the near court. And Vanea returns Agassi's forehand smash a little too long, and Adrian just had a tough night. Agassi wins in straight sets, 6-love, 6-2, and 6-2. Take a look at some of the other winners from Friday. Third-seeded Yevgeny Kafelnikov was swept by Australian Mark Woodforde, but Woodforde wasn't surprised. He said, I'm a good player too. We check in on the ladies now, and the 8th-seeded Anka Huber facing unseeded American Venus Williams. And all eyes have been on Venus in New York. Venus serving in the first set, blows the ace right by her. Oh yeah, big numbers, worth another look. Huber had no chance to return the 110-mile-an-hour serve. Williams took the first set 6-3. Second set, triple match point for Williams. Venus Williams took batting practice with the Mets this week. And she's dangerous with the tennis racket in her hand. As you can see, she wins in straight sets, 6-3 and 6-4. It was just the second win against the top 10 opponent ever for Venus Williams. She's ranked 66th in the world, but moving up fast. Monica Seles and Amanda Kutzer also advanced. But the belle of Friday's dance was Venus Williams. She wants to be the Tiger Woods of tennis.
He is something different from the mainstream golfer. And in tennis, I also am. I'm tall, I'm black, and everything's different about me. Just face the facts. So I think that that's why I would really have a chance, because I'm just something totally different than what's been around, which I can't help, but I am.
Venus Williams is full of potential, reminding us of past promising Americans who realized their potential in their teen years on the tennis courts. Williams has reached the 4th round of her first U.S. Open at age 17. Tracy Austin went one better than Venus has so far, reaching the quarters in her debut in 1977 at age 14. She became the youngest ever U.S. Open champ in 1979.
In the NFL, Seattle's Junior Seau is still saying ow. Seau had his knee scoped August 4th to repair a torn cartilage, returned to practice Wednesday, but still isn't ready to go. Sunday's game against New England is just the 3rd game Seau will miss in his 8 seasons. In other NFL news, Deion Sanders will be ready to go for Dallas in its season opener against Pittsburgh. ESPN's Chris Mortensen reports that Sanders worked on some pass coverages and fielded punts in practice on Friday. Sanders has been bothered of late by a bulging disc in his back. As for the Steelers, quarterback Cordell Stewart says his left knee is now 90 to 95% normal. Stewart will start Sunday against Dallas and wants to play without a brace, but the team wants it to be on to be safe. Other news, notes, and information from the National Football League. Jacksonville's Mark Brunell ran Friday in practice. Could be listed as a Jags 3rd-string quarterback by the 3rd week of the season. Detroit defensive back Bryant Westbrook pulled a groin muscle on Wednesday. He's doubtful for the season opener against Atlanta. And offensive lineman Glenn Parker, who played on 4 Super Bowl teams with Buffalo, signed a 3-year deal with Kansas City.
Coming up on the show, a trip to Fenway, where Nomar Garciaparra was looking to extend his hitting streak to 30 games. He had a Red Sox on the front of his uniform, and the visiting team's jerseys said Boston, too. Also ahead, David Justice has been walking softly but carrying a big stick in Cleveland. We'll see if he beat up on the Cubbies. Jeff Gordon has a streak on the line, and there could be $1 million at the end of this Warriors Rainbow. And later, the Swami is back. We'll have his thoughts heading into week 1 of the NFL season, and we'll preview Saturday's college football slate as well when the center returns.
What? The solution of marriage? She gets half. I'll give her half. Maybe we can work this out.
So here I come with 192 ounces of golden refreshment.
Coors Light!
My name is called, and I pass along these frost-brewed sips of heaven.
Rocky Mountain Refreshment!
I'm embraced by thousands, but as they sip their liquid joy, I can't help but wonder. Is it me they call out for, or is it the beer? Either way, I feel the love.
Turn around! Get your cold Coors Light here!
It's that time again. The NFL is back. And Sports Illustrated wants to help you get ready with the ultimate preseason package. 3 great football gifts, a limited edition NFL Team Sports Watch, and the official video of your favorite team, both free with your paid subscription. Plus, SI's Pro Football Preview, free when you use your credit card.
Gotta have it! Gotta have it!
Your rugged Team Sports Watch is water resistant and features the logo of your favorite team. Whether you want a classic or a hot new design, the choice is yours.
Yes, sir!
With your official NFL team video, you'll see if your team has what it takes to get to football heaven in '97. Call now. Get 54 issues of Sports Illustrated for only $1.48 an issue. Save over 57% off the cover price.
But we're not done yet.
Use your credit card and we'll also send you SI's own Pro Football Preview free. It's the ultimate preseason package, free from Sports Illustrated and nowhere else. Get into it.
It's our ESPN Sunday night baseball game of the week, Atlanta and Boston. Interleague activity right here on ESPN Sunday beginning at 8 p.m. Eastern Time.
Mo Vaughn calls him Spider-Man. And when he was named the Red Sox starting shortstop in spring training, we thought it was because of his magnificent glove work. But with apologies to Big Mo, the only superhero Nomar Garciaparra should be compared to is Batman. He took a 29-game hitting streak to Fenway when the Red Sox welcomed the Braves back to Boston. Garciaparra was hitting .379 over those past 29 games. Massachusetts native Tom Glavine and the Braves wore the throwback Boston Braves uniforms. They left in 1871. They arrived in 1871, left in the spring of 1953. Former Brave Steve Avery and the Red Sox wore the throwbacks, but look at that. Fred McGriff saying it's the new time. Bottom of the third, 1-0 Braves. Garciaparra 0 for 1 at this point. Taps one past John Smoltz. Jeff Blauser has no play. 30-game hitting streak. Thank you very much. Next batter, Jeff Fry. Lines one to center field. Kenny Lofton on his horse makes the nice catch down there. Scott Hatteberg doesn't tag, so no run score. Bases still loaded now, 2 outs for Big Mo Vaughn, but John Smoltz tricked him to end the threat. Smoltz pitched 7 innings, allowed 4 hits, and struck out 9. The throwback unis were the only thing troubling Smoltz as he needed some tape to repair a loose button later in the game. Top of the 6th, 3-0 Braves. Greg Colburn singles up the middle. Ryan Klesko and Andrew Jones score. 4 runs in the 6th inning for Atlanta/Boston/Milwaukee. As they win at 9-1. Braves return to their birthplace and impress the current team residing in Boston. Mo Vaughn said every player on every team would like to get on a team that handles their business like the Braves. John Smoltz became the first Brave, Boston, Milwaukee, or Atlanta to have 4 200 strikeout seasons. Back to Garciaparra and take a look at the longest hitting streak since 1980. Paul Molitor with the longest. There are only 3 longer than Garciaparra's. In Red Sox history, Dom DiMaggio has the franchise record of 34 games. He did that in 1949. Tris Speaker hitting 30 straight in 1912. Blue Jays fishing for marlin at the Sky Dome. Al Leiter and Charles Johnson talking strategy. Leiter, the former Blue Jay, top of the fourth, 1-0 Fish, runners at first and second. Charles Johnson against Robert Person, and he hits it to right center. Bounces to the wall, 2-run score, and the Marlins were on top 3-0. Top of the sixth, Johnson does some more damage. Runner on second, Person still pitching. It's high, it's deep, it's far. No need to run, Chuck. 5-love Florida, 18th home run of the year for Johnson. Johnson worked with Leiter in shutting down the Blue Jays. Leiter taking a look at the familiar confines for him and gets Jose Cruz Jr. looking. Marlins would win at 8-0. Leiter would leave after 6 shutout innings. The fans in Toronto got on Al Leiter before and during the game, but he said it just made him focus harder on catcher Charles Johnson. He left after 7 seasons in Toronto in 1995 as a free agent. The Blue Jays have been blanked 10 times this year, tying Detroit for the most shutouts in the American League. Now let's take a look at the wild card race in the National League, and the Marlins looking for their first ever postseason berth are comfortable 5 games up in the race on the Giants, who are just 2.5 games behind the Dodgers in the West. The Mets 7 games out as they'll continue to battle the O's this weekend.
When Chicago dumped the 3 pitchers to San Francisco before the trade deadline, it opened up opportunities for young guys like Scott Air, who's trying to make batters swing at Air. So far, so. Air 2-2, an ERA of 4.81, but he's not expensive. Air on the hill as Chicago played host to Houston. We pick it up with the 1994 NL MVP, Jeff Bagwell, born on May 27th, 1968. And he drills his 36th home run of the year, puts Houston up by the score of 3-2. Frank Thomas was the 1994 AL MVP, born on the same day as Bagwell, May 27th, 1968. That's information. Thomas here, deep, and James Mouton can't make the grab. Thomas in there for a double. 2 batters later, and this, the bottom of the 8th inning. Robin Ventura sends one to right. Derek Bell dives, can't get it. Thomas scores as the ball gets by Bell. Ventura's first triple of the year, ties the game at 4. And the next man up, Mike Cameron. Laces one to left center. That's in there. Ventura scores. Sox up 5-4, and they win by the 5-4 final score. The first Major League win for Keith Foulke, one of the 6 players acquired by the White Sox from San Francisco in that big deal before the trade deadline. Foulke went 2 1/3 in relief for the win. 3 hits for Craig Biggio, who was DHing for the first time in his career. Pirates and the Brewers. Pirates and Gene Lamont. That's the average salary in 1997, but it's 2nd place in the NL Central. How about Phil Garner and the Brewers? That's their average salary, good enough for 2nd place in the AL Central. Money not mattering here in terms of payroll for both teams. Here, bottom of the 7th, Jose Valentin sends it to right. Issues for Jose Guillen. Vigna scores. Kevin Pokovich will try to tag out Valentin, and watch the left ankle. Yeah, that's not pretty. Pokovich came out, badly sprained left ankle, the initial report. Top of the 9th, Jason Kendall on first base. Guillen sends one to left. Jack Voigt traps the ball. Voigt throws to second. Kendall is forced, and he says, you know, you didn't signal no catch fast enough. He got thrown out of the game. Rocky Rowe, the ump, says, you know what? I was wrong. I should have made that call faster. As it is, Milwaukee wins it by the final count of 4-1. Scott Carl, once 2-10, wins his 8th straight decision, tying the team record for a lefty set in 1979 by Mike Caldwell. Carl went 7 1/3. The Brewers have won 7 out of 10, while Pittsburgh has lost 3 in a row. Cubs and the Indians, bottom of the 7th inning. Sandy Alomar at the plate. Deep drive off the top of the wall in right center. David Justice and Matt Williams score, and the Indians go up 5-2. Top of the 8th. Indians up at this point by the score of 6-3. Kevin Ory having a fine rookie year.
Couple of singles.
Off Jose Mesa, lines to first. Jim Thome can't handle it. 2 runs come in to score, and Ory would advance to third on the throw as the Cubs are able to pull within 1. Next man up, Tyler Houston drills one right through the middle, scoring Ory from third, and we're all tied at 6. Now to the bottom of the 8th. Bases are loaded for David Justice. And he comes through with a base hit. Marquise Grissom comes in to score. That would prove to be the winning run, and Cleveland wins it by the score of 7-6. So the Indians remain 3.5 games in front of Milwaukee in the American League Central. This was the first non-exhibition game between these two teams since 1899. 4 former National Leaguers helped Cleveland. Oral Hershiser pitched 7 strong innings. Matt Williams went 3 for 5. Grissom 1 for 3 with 2 runs scored. And Justice, as you saw, drove in the game winner. Coming up on SportsCenter, the Swami back for another season. What he has to say about Cordell Stewart and who will win the Super Bowl after this.
Imagine the prestige and beauty of stainless steel. Imagine the quality and innovation of General Electric. Now the two come together in the exciting new Monogram line of advanced technology appliances available exclusively at Mrs. G's. GE's new Monogram built-in ranges, microwaves, dishwashers, and refrigerators set a new standard for style and performance. Imagine them in your kitchen, then see them for real. Monogram at Mrs. G's on Route 1 in Lawrenceville, 1/2 mile south of 295 and 95.
Lots of men don't like to shop for clothing. That's why we try to make shopping easy and painless. Our salesmen are the best in the business, and they will always make sure that you find clothes that look great, and fit your budget. Suits, sport coats, outerwear, shoes, formal wear, and accessories, all under one roof. A great selection of famous label menswear, great prices, and great service. The Clothing Center really is a great men's store.
Since 1851, the Bristol University School of Football has been an intellectual haven for asking questions and seeking answers. A place which challenges and enlightens young minds in the academic pursuit of football. Led by Dean Berman, the faculty prepares students to meet the challenges of the 21st century and beyond.
Here at Bristol University, we seek veritas, or the truth.
The Bristol University School of Football. To know is to understand.
We're back for the second round of the Greater Milwaukee Open. John Daly with a par putt on number 10. Pushed it to the left. Daly would bogey the hole, and he finished 4 over for the day, missed the cut. 18, Skip Kendall with a shot for eagle. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Yep, he finished at 4 under. Shot of the day from Steve Stricker on number 9, 50 feet away. And that thing is in there. Springer finished at 6 under. Clarence Rose, though, is the leader. Rookie Spike McCroy is a shot back. McCroy shot an 8 under 63, 1 stroke shy of the course record. Daly, by the way, was the biggest name left in the tourney after Tiger Woods declined to play, and Daly missed a cut, saying his problems were due to a switch from graphite irons to steel irons. How about the Pittsburgh Senior Classic? Arnold Palmer in the upper right. Ball's going to come out of nowhere. This is on the 15th hole. It's a par 5. Palmer's third shot. Beautiful.
What a great shot.
Palmer would birdie, but he shot a 76. Isao Aoki on number 11. Par putt, executed perfectly, and he's thrilled to death. As usual, Dave Stockton in contention. His approach on 16 is well hit. It sounded well hit. Kicks left, setting up a birdie attempt. Stockton finished 2 under, 2 strokes off the lead. How about Kermit Zarley's third shot on 17? No! He ended up with a bird on the hole. He's in a tie for first at 4 under. As you see, a whole bunch of golfers are at 4 under, including Bob Duvall. He's among the group. Duvall got into the tourney only after Orville Moody withdrew because of a bad wrist. As Duvall says, everything I get this week is a bonus because I got in as an alternate.
The 4th crown jewel on the NASCAR circuit is up for grabs Sunday in the Southern 500. But if Jeff Gordon crosses the finish line first in Darlington, South Carolina, he'll appreciate the win more than anyone else. Gordon will receive a $1 million bonus for winning 3 of the 4 big races. He won the Daytona and Winston 500s, but missed out on the Coca-Cola 600. Everybody qualified for positions 1 through 25 on Friday. One driver, $1 million. That is the hype surrounding the Rainbow Warrior. Now, he said he's worried about the points championship and not the cash. Gordon did not get the pole. The only other driver to ever win the bonus, this guy, Bill Elliott, who won it in 1985, and he clocked 170 .513 mph is good enough for second in this year's race. Here's your pole sitter, the second driver on the track Friday, Bobby Labonte, 170.661 miles per hour at a time of 28.815 seconds. And two-time defending champ Jeff Gordon will make his $1 million charge from the 7th position. Bobby Labonte has finished 11th or better in 9 of his last 13 races. Red Hot Dale Jarrett and points leader Mark Martin are on row 2. You can see the race at 1 p.m. Eastern on ESPN.
We are close to opening day of the National Football League. Chris Berman has had a long offseason to analyze, scrutinize, and dissect the opening day matchup. So without further ado, here's Chris now with his 2-minute drill.
Welcome back to Swami country. They don't make filters like they used to. 19 years of riding the reins. That's a lot of time in the old saddle. When opening day rolls around, it does put a little hitch in your giddy-up. 19 years of cowboy. Who else can say that? Ed Too Tall Jones wore the colors proudly for 15 years. Nobody was more impressive wearing the star than Hall of Famer Bob Lilly, but he checked in at 14 seasons. Nope. The Schwam has them all beat. Even Bill Bates and Mark Tuinei impressively starting their 15 seasons as Cowboys. To quote Aerosmith, we're back in the saddle again. What does the preseason mean? For quarterbacks, obviously it can mean some danger, but records don't mean much, or do they? The Pack picked up where they left off, a perfect 5-0. Brett and Favre and company looked sharp. The defense allowed the fewest points per game. Pittsburgh also a perfect 5-0. 155 points scored, the NFL best. To me, Cordell Stewart is the league's most intriguing player. Jacksonville lost Mark Brunell, but Rob Johnson came out of mothballs to lead the Jags to a 4-0 August. And how about the Jets? Bill Parcells installed his winning ways. They were 4-0. Since 1980, up through last year, 23 teams have had undefeated preseasons. 14 of them made the playoffs. Look at that 61%, Jets fans. On the other side of midnight, the 0-4 Baltimore Ravens, the 0-4 Tennessee Tuxedos, who may see just as few folks as they saw in Houston, and surprisingly, Carolina went 0-4 after a 12-4 season. Kerry Collins got hurt. They couldn't stop the run. Not a good omen because since 1980, 22 teams have been winless in August. Only 2 of them have made the playoffs. But take heart, Panther fans. General Manager Bill Polian was GM of the 1990 0-4 Bills. They went to the Super Bowl. Lots new this year, 11 new coaches and 2 new uniforms. The Broncos crushed their orange and are now the Blue Nuns. Boo! And the Bucs sacked their beloved orange. The new unis are okay, but they should have kept orange as the secondary color, not the third one. Nevertheless, we're picking the Bucs to make the playoffs. That's right. You heard it. The Buccaneers in the playoffs. But how can you question the Schwam? Last year, a solid 41-36. And may we remind you, opening day is August 31st. The Swami is undefeated lifetime in August. The marquee game this week, Dallas at Pittsburgh. Super Bowls 10, 13, and 30 revisited. I predict 2,000 yards rushing this season by the Cowboys' backfield, not including Emmitt Smith. A 1,400 for Calvin Hill, 600 for Robert Newhouse, both hired by Jerry Jones this season. But in a great game, the Cordell era has begun. 23-20 Steelers. The Bills will win games this year playing in the teens. Here's one of them, 19-13 over the Vikes. Wait till you see how much fun the Patriots will have with Pete Carroll, 27-13 over the Bulls. I was going to pick the Seahawks for the playoffs, but they fired one of the best player personnel men anywhere, Mike Allman. I thought they knew what they were doing. Apparently, they don't. An opening day upset. Jets 21-20 in the Great Pacific Northwest. Dick Vermeil hasn't won in 15 years. He's due. Rams 23-13 over Ditka's Saints. And what about the Super Bowl? Well, everyone's on the Pack. My friend Mike Holmgren doesn't need the added pressure of a Swami pick, so it's the 49ers. Against? Well, I made up my mind on our family vacation this summer to Yellowstone. If I didn't see any buffalo on our last day in the park, then the Bills were through. 8:20, almost nightfall. I'd given up. Went around the corner. There they were. My son Doug and I got closer for a better look. Yes, a herd of buffalo in the Wyoming twilight. So, for the 10th straight year, San Francisco against Buffalo in the Super Bowl. I'm a Taurus. I'm stubborn, okay? Time to ride off into the sunset. Have a great season, Pop.
All right, join Chris and the gang on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern for NFL Countdown, a complete look at every matchup for Week 1. Then at 7 p.m., catch all of the day's highlights on NFL Primetime, only here on ESPN. Coming up on SportsCenter, it's St. Louis, and guess who goes deep again? College football. We find out if the tide will turn under new coach Mike DuBose. That and more after this.
intrigue, a sophisticated twist on a sports sedan.
When sports cream? When legs are sore. When backs ache. When muscles hurt. Why sports cream? Rubbing it in brings fast pain relief. No medicine-y smell. Why sports cream? Because it works.
We're asking baseball fans to try Wheaties, the breakfast of champions.
That's the first time I had them in a long time. They taste terrific. They're good. They really are. I'd get them.
Try the championship taste of Wheaties.
You better eat your Wheaties.
I'm the man. I carry cable. I got my own specialized training methods. 621. Training cord, 2.4 pounds heavier than the game cord. You can't work the orange. Game day. And complete. You don't work the black. 2 areas I'm working on today. Coil speed, foot speed. Cable training, people.
College football on ESPN 2.
Little squibber to the right side. Worrell races over to cover. The throw doesn't get him. Worrell got to the bag in an argument here, and here comes Herzog amongst the other quartet.
That call by umpire Don Denkinger in Game 6 of the '85 World Series still upsets the folks in St. Louis. The Royals recovered from a 3-1 deficit to win the championship. It was the I-70 World Series back then. On Friday, it was the answer to the question, how come the expressway's crowded? Cardinals and Royals were trying to relive the glory days, but the fans of both teams were only in Kansas City to see one thing, a possible Big Mac attack from St. Louis first baseman Mark McGwire. We head to KC. Willie McGee, the only player on the field left from that '85 World Series. Bases full of Cardinals, top of the 3rd inning here. Ron Gann hits a sharp grounder to short. Look at this great stretch by Jay Bell, throwing to 3rd and getting the force out. More defense, this time by the Cards. 1st and 2nd, the runners, and oh, mercy, Gary Gaetti with a nice play and great scoop by Big Mac. Speaking of Big Mac, top of the 5th, oh my, there it goes. It's high, it's deep, it's far, it's gone. A bazooka blast, 412-foot home run, 4-3 Cards. Top of the 8th, 6-6, bases loaded. Willie McGee, that man facing Greg Olson, and McGee lines one sharply down the right field line. Delino DeShields scores. Mark McGwire comes around, and Blankford scores a triple for McGee, who's huffing and puffing. Cards up 9-6. Dennis Eckersley came on to make it exciting. Willie McGee has never been one for hype. As I said, he was the only man on the diamond from that '85 World Series, but he said, I'll be glad when this is over. I just want to play the Royals, not relive history. Well, Willie, 36,000 fans did want to relive history, and that was 6,000 above the Royals' average. Twins hosting the Reds, top of the 4th, 2-0 Minnesota. Willie Green facing Frank Rodriguez with 2 on, and Green isn't running, and that's not a good sign for the opposition. His 19th of the year. Reds up 3-2. Bottom of the 5th, Scott Sahoviak at the plate. Sahoviak grounds to the right side. Brett Boone getting down and dirty, bouncing to his feet and getting the out. Boone leads National League second baseman in fielding percentage. There's the reason why. Reds were happy to get the win, but frightened when Brett Tomko and Eduardo Perez were hurt, had to leave the game, but both are okay. Tomko took a line drive off his knee in the 6th, and Perez had his helmet cracked by a Mike Trombley fastball. He'll miss 1 game, but Tomko will make his next start. The voice of the fan usually doesn't mean much in on-field decisions, but that may be changing in Cincinnati. Pete Rose Jr. will make his major league debut at 3rd base for the Reds on Monday. General Manager Jim Bowden said the response from Reds fans and season ticket holders regarding Pete has been overwhelming. It's very clear the people here want to see Pete Rose Jr. Jim, they like Mark McGwire next year, too, if that's okay. We'll focus on Rose, shown here while he played in the White Sox organization. He's 27 and has combined to hit 300 with 25 homers and 98 ribbies in 122 games in the minors this year.
The University of Missouri has suspended 4 football players for unspecified team violations. Senior nose tackle Donnell Jones and junior free safety Harold Pierce were slated to be starters. They were among the group that will sit out Missouri's season opener next Saturday against Eastern Michigan. Coach Larry Smith says the future of the 4 players will be determined the Sunday after the first game. Peyton Manning decided to pass on the money and stay. It would have been a lot easier if he went to the NFL and had a couple of years to carry a clipboard. As it is, Manning will be the focus of everybody's attention, and it all begins Saturday as Tennessee opens up against Texas Tech. As Mike Adamle reports, lost in all the hoopla created by Manning's return, Tennessee has a lot of other experienced talent.
This year, you know, we're very level-headed going in, realizing we're tired of being second place, but we have been second place for the past few years in the SEC East, and we've got a big game in Gainesville, but have a big game against Texas Tech on the opener. We're going to play them all hard.
Lost in the Peyton Manning fanfare is the fact that Tennessee returned 7 starters from a unit that ranked 6th in the nation in scoring defense and 5th in total defense. Unlike Manning, Tech's Heisman candidate a year ago, All-America running back Byron Hanspard did turn pro, taking with him nearly 190 yards of rushing offense per game. How about Syracuse? After being held to 10 points in last year's season opener against North Carolina, the Orange has gone over 30 points 12 straight games. Not good news for this week's opponent, North Carolina State, who ranks second to last or last in the ACC in all of the following: scoring defense, total defense, rushing defense, passing defense, turnovers forced, third down defense, and first downs allowed. To make matters worse for the Pack, Syracuse's running quarterback Donovan McNabb just happens to be the 5th highest rated passer ever in NCAA history. Better than Steve Young, John Elway, and Troy Aikman, just to name a few.
Didn't do a lot with football, obviously, playing 3 months of minor league baseball, and he didn't make the 12-minute run, so that was more upsetting than whatever he'd done football-wise, because that's something we asked everybody on the team to do, and it's not all that difficult, but you do have to train and prepare for it.
Number 1 Florida prepares to defend its national title with a third baseman at quarterback when they host Southern Mississippi. Doug Johnson's first test at college football's most glamorous and pressurized position could be a stern one, as the Golden Eagles have been a stumbling block for some big teams in the past. Mike Dubose makes his debut as the head man of the Crimson Tide when Houston plays Alabama for the first time since 1971. Don't expect his inaugural campaign to be an easy one. No first-year Bama head coach has ever lost fewer than 4 games.
In the past, when you talked about championships, you talked about the University of Alabama. When you talk about championships in our conference right now, you don't talk about the University of Alabama. You don't think about the University of Alabama. You think about the University of Florida and Steve and his program, and that's what you should think about, because they've done it year in and year out. They've been there. And that's the challenge that we have, is to get our program back to that point.
And coming up on SportsCenter, we'll tell you if Mookie Blaylock will continue to be a high-flying hawk. This is SportsCenter.
I got a lot accomplished this week.
Thanks to Jimmy's versatility.
Let's see. Hauled the love seat in for reupholstering on Monday.
Thanks to Jimmy's cargo space.
Took the kids to soccer practice Wednesday.
With its spacious interior and luxury ride.
Bought groceries.
You can do a lot in a Jimmy.
And now, a weekend getaway.
Jimmy by GMC. It puts you comfortably in command.
Watch. Varsity football player approaching, looking for the perfect shoe to work out in. Like the air backfield and the warm-up suit. Cross-country runner just outside, looking for a shoe to help him letter. Adidas Oswego with shirt and shorts. Giddy up. This just in. Basketball player still 2 weeks away. Thinking about a state championship? Gonna want a shoe that'll take him all the way. Reebok New Hawk.
Our people at Foot Locker are so good at getting you into exactly the right shoes, it's uncanny.
What is it now? You're on my foot.
Get it right at Foot Locker, where it all begins.
Tomorrow, Chipper Jones is ready to call this his team, and the Braves are ready to follow him into October. But first, they roll into Fenway to take on the Sox. Braves Red Sox, the Sunday night baseball game of the week, tomorrow at 8 on ESPN.
The Phillies and the Tigers only, because we are a full-service operation. Scott Rowland holding down the hot corner at Tiger Stadium. Rowland makes a great backhand stop, throws across to get Travis Fryman. Tigers go hitless through 3. Tyler Green here to Tony Clark, and there goes the bat all the way into right field. 3-2 Tigers, bottom of the 7th. Runners on 2nd and 3rd. Damian Easley is intentionally walked by Green to load the bases. Green would then leave the game. In comes Ryan Karp, and Karp is focused, but not focused enough because he walks Bobby Higginson. That forces in a run. Karp is removed for Jerry Spradlin. Who are these guys? And Spradlin walks Travis Fryman. Can I get the scoreboard, please? Detroit wins at 7-2. 8 innings of work for Willie Blair, who wins for the 10th time in 12 decisions. Blair is 11-4 since he had his jaw broken by a line drive. Just the Phillies' 3rd loss in the last 11 games on the road. So, The National League takes 8 of 14 interleague contests on Friday, this after taking 3 of 4 Thursday for an overall lead of just 2 games. Senior circuit enjoys a slight advantage in the DH department, but neither a major factor on Friday as both leagues' DHs hit about 250.
Everyone continues to work on their bank shot in Atlanta. Lenny Wilkins signed a $20 million deal this week. Rick Fox was offered cash and a sure starting spot, but opted to become a Laker. Now, Mookie Blaylock has handled his money matters. He signed a 4-year contract extension. The big number was not revealed. These are the numbers that matter to the Hawks, though. Blaylock averaged a career-high 17.4 points per game last year and led the NBA in steals at 2.7 per contest. He also passed out 6 assists and grabbed 5 boards per ball game. Houston center Wanda Guyton is listed as doubtful for Saturday's WNBA championship game against New York. She was injured in Thursday's semi against Charlotte after colliding with teammate Tina Thompson. Now, Guyton left the floor on a stretcher, but fortunately only suffered a mild concussion. There's room for more than one Andre in this show. We'll check on Mr. Agassi's march toward U.S. Open glory when SportsCenter returns.
Fenwick, where were you yesterday? Didn't you get my page?
Sorry, I was out of range. Airplane.
Didn't you get my page?
I was out of range. Tunnels.
Didn't you get my page?
Out of range? Subway.
Introducing Skyward Plus Guaranteed Messaging from SkyTel, the first paging service that stores your messages when you go out of range and automatically delivers them when you get back.
Let me guess. Alien abduction. How'd you know?
So get Skyward Plus from SkyTel and get the message guaranteed.
It's the way a house smells when there's bread baking in the oven. The way mothers make sandwiches just right. It's the way we try to know each of our customers by name, or at least by sandwich. And it's the way all your favorite things combine into something even better, right before your eyes. It's probably why people rate us #1 in quality, survey after survey, even though it can be hard to answer questions with your mouth full. Subway. It's the way a sandwich should be.
Don't miss summer's last blast during the Labor Day sale going on now through Monday at Best Buy. You'll find all TVs, camcorders, major appliances, home audio, and lots more all on sale. But hurry, when the weekend's over, so's the sale. Best Buy's Labor Day sale. Now that's a great idea. Welcome to Park Avenue, the ultimate urban environment. So quiet, it shuts out urban unpleasantness. So beautiful, it improves the neighborhood. Even the most elegant street in America, which, incidentally, seems to have been named after our new car. The all-new Park Avenue by Buick, the power of understatement.
Alex Zanardi grabs the pole for Sunday's Molson Indy Vancouver race. The pole is his 3rd of the season and 10th of his career. He'll be trying to win his 4th straight race. Al Unser Jr. is the only driver in kart history to do that.
The Woodies, Mark Woodforde and Todd Woodbridge, are the top doubles team in men's tennis. Friday, the Woodies were upset in doubles and Woodbridge was upset in singles. But the unseeded Woodforde salvaged the day, pulling off an upset against the men's 3rd seed, Evgeny Kafelnikov. Next up for Woodforde, Andre Agassi. Sal Palantonio reports from New York.
At 31 years old, double specialist Mark Woodforde is the oldest player left in the men's draw. Not a bad time to pick up his service game and play some of the best singles of his long tennis career.
I just feel like I'm still improving as a tennis player. I don't understand why, you know, at my age or, you know, even years to come that I can't keep improving as long as I stay healthy and as long as my mental approach to the game, wanting to work, you know, is still there.
It might appear at first glance that with Evgeny Kafelnikov out, Andre Agassi's chances of advancing just got a whole lot better. But 2 weeks ago in Indianapolis, Woodforde had little problem defeating Agassi, so their 3rd round showdown should be Agassi's toughest test yet here at the Open.
He has great hands, he has great feel, he has great wheels, you know, and he's starting to really know how to put it all together.
I think we've played about 4 or 5 times, and the first few times I was always shaking in my sand shoes because I just didn't think that I was ever good enough to beat the guy. And was probably almost shaking hands before the match began. If he's probably playing the best, that we know he can play, then, I would say my chances are remote, but I don't think all of a sudden he's going to be coming out and playing his best ever. So, it's a chance for me to catch him.
Let's bring in ESPN tennis analyst Brad Gilbert, who is also Andre Agassi's coach. Why is Andre Agassi having so much trouble with Mark Woodforde right now?
Well, the last couple of times, Woodforde's played well against him. He's a crafty veteran. He gives him that low slice, makes him create his own shots, and, he makes the other guy work. He takes a lot of pace off the ball, hits the ball low a lot to Andre's forehand, and, just a sneaky guy out there.
What's your advice to Andre so that he could beat him this time?
I think he needs to step up and crack the ball a little harder this time. Dictate play more with his forehand, and he needs to get a higher percentage of first serves, and he needs to return serve a lot better than he did the last 2 times he's played him.
Reporting from the U.S. Open, I'm Sal Palantonio with Brad Gilbert, ESPN.
Men, thank you. Coming up on SportsCenter, another late inning collapse for Seattle. The details after this.
Imagine the prestige and beauty of stainless steel. Imagine the quality and innovation of General Electric. Now the two come together in the exciting new Monogram line of advanced technology appliances available exclusively at Mrs. G's. GE's new Monogram built-in ranges, microwaves, dishwashers, and refrigerators set a new standard for style and performance. Imagine them in your kitchen, then see them for real. Monogram at Mrs. G's on Route 1 in Lawrenceville, 1/2 mile south of 295 and 95.
Haldeman Nissan, Route 33 in Hamilton Square. Easy to get to from Princeton, Yardley, South Brunswick, and Trenton. Come in and see Haldeman Nissan's incredible volume of cars and trucks.
Like the all-new 1997 Nissan Sentra. With its quiet 1.6-liter twin-cam engine, you'll think you're riding in a car costing thousands of dollars more.
Haldeman Nissan, Route 33 in Hamilton Square. A service organization.
Today's professional athlete, often revered, respected, but recently tarnished by run-ins with the law. What explains the rash of athletes and coaches finding themselves on the wrong side of the justice system? What responsibility does the big business of sport bear in creating the problem? And what, if any, solutions are they offering to solve it? Take a look at a growing problem surrounding sports in America. Sports under arrest, outside the lines, on ESPN.
Sights and sounds from Friday night in the big leagues. Now the scores. Otis Nixon's 2-run single in the bottom of the 10th, lifting the Dodgers to their 4th straight win. Seattle blows another late lead in the 9th, giving up 2 runs in the final frame, dropping the 3rd straight. That enabled Anaheim to close within 1 game in the AL West, behind a strong outing from Ken Hill. Baltimore rallies from 3 runs down to beat the Mets. Cal Ripken tied it with a home run in the 8th and then won it with a 12th inning single. Al Leiter returned from the DL to combine with 3 relievers on a 5-hit shutout as the Marlins stayed within 4.5 of the Braves.
David Justice continued his toward August hitting with a bases-loaded single in the 8th in Cleveland's win. The Tribe stay 3.5 up on Milwaukee. Houston wastes home runs by Bagwell and Biggio, allowing 2 runs in the 8th, but they still lead Pittsburgh by 3.5. And Willie McGee's bases-loaded triple lifted the Cardinals past Kansas City, a win that came about 12 years too late for St. Louis. Trouble continues to be a close companion of Steve Howe. On August 19th, the former big league pitcher was critically injured in a motorcycle crash near his home in Montana. He was released from a hospital on Monday, but on Friday was charged with drunk driving in connection with the crash. He was also charged with operating a motorcycle without the proper license. Ramon Martinez is scheduled to take the hill for the first-place Dodgers on Saturday. LA hopes his return continues to be good. We'll return in a moment.
Oh, dammi una casa dove il buffalo gira, dove I cervi stanno a giocar. Non si sentano mai una brutta parola e il cielo non fa oscuro mai.
Introducing Navigator from Lincoln. What a luxury should be.
Before releasing NFL Game Day 98, we asked Robert Brooks to check it out.
Do you like the graphics?
Graphics are tight.
Go to the house, to the house, to the house. You see it? Really good.
You like that, yes?
Touchdown!
All the way.
Come on, man. Hey, that don't show my breakaway speed.
Well, our numbers say that you lost a step.
What?
It's,
The numbers.
Today.
Tailback Ken Oxenine of Virginia Tech is 6'1", 233, led the Big East in scoring. He's an inside runner.
At 7:30, Peyton in prime time.
Peyton Manning, 106,000 fans singing Rocky Top in the best setting for college football, but they can't overlook the Red Raiders.
Virginia Tech Rutgers at 12:30. Texas Tech Tennessee at 7:30. A new season of college football. Today, only on ESPN.
Saturday's probable starting pitchers in the major leagues include Dennis Springer of the Angels, who was shelled for 7 runs in 6 innings in his last outing against Cleveland. Now he'll face Giants left-hander Sean Estes, who was looking for his 18th win of the season against just 4 losses. Opposing hitters are batting only .226 against Estes this season. Meanwhile, Seattle leaves Coors Field behind to give Dodger Stadium a try. There they'll face Ramon Martinez, whose team is 11-5 when he goes to the mound. The Braves face knuckleballer Tim Wakefield in Boston. Wakefield has rebounded from a slow start. His last outing, he threw 8 innings of 4-hit baseball, allowing 2 runs in a win over the Angels. And in the Bronx, a great pitching matchup. Pedro Martinez takes a microscopic 1.61 ERA to the hill against the Yankees lefty David Wells, a 14-game winner himself.
Elsewhere, the Blue Jays are no stranger to Florida's Alex Fernandez. A former American leaguer is 4-5 lifetime against Toronto, despite an ERA of 1.87 versus the Jays. Houston's Mike Hampton is red hot. The lefty fired a complete game 4 hitter in his last outing. A win at home over the Rockies. He faces Jason Beret, 2-0 since returning from the DL. The Pirates turn to John Lieber to try and stop their 3-game slide, but they're scheduled to face Jose Mercedes, who's coming off a complete game 4-hit shutout over Detroit. And the I-70 series continues in Kansas City, a rematch of the '85 series. Manny Abar, just 11-year-old back then, is slated to start for the Cards. The NHL now. 2 years ago, the LA Kings acquired forward Dmitry Kristich and goalie Byron Dafoe from Washington in exchange for draft picks. Friday, the Kings dealt Kristich and Dafoe to Boston for 2 Bruins. The deal on the deal, Kristich was the Kings' leading scorer last season with 56 points. Dafoe played in 40 games last season as the Kings' backup goalie. In return, the Kings get Joseph Stuppel, the Bruins' leading scorer a year ago. They also get Sandy Moger, who had 10 goals and 3 assists last season for the Bruins.
MLS action, San Jose and New York, New Jersey. Eventful night for Giovanni Savarese of the Metro Stars. Second half, 1-0 Stars, heads in the corner kick. His 11th goal of the season, Stars up 2-0. Same score. Later in the second half, Savarese heads in a deflective shot for his 2nd goal of the game, 3-0 Metro Stars. Late in the second half, San Jose defender John Doyle and Savarese leap for the ball, but Doyle headbutts Savarese and he suffered a cut on his head. Teammate Tony Meola angry at the play, but the Stars win the game 3-0. The Metro Stars moved within 3 points of New England for the final Eastern Conference playoff berth with 8 games to play. San Jose remains 2 points back of Los Angeles for the final spot out west. It was Tony Meola's 4th shutout this season. Coming up, something you probably did not know about strikeout kings and consistency. Bill and I will fill you in.
In the field of sedans under 13 grand, there's one that doesn't exactly fit in. The Mazda Protege LX. The most room, the most refinements, and with a sport suspension, the most fun. All for $12,995. It's a whole different animal. Mazda Protege. $12,995 or get 3.9% APR.
You're a judge at America's most prestigious beer competition. You can't see anything. Can't see the labels. All you've got to go on is taste. So who wins the gold medal for best tasting American premium lager? Original Coors. Close your eyes and taste the one that won for taste. Original Coors.
Alex
Brooks and Artie, 3 straight wins have racked up lots of points. For DeFerrin, Tracy, and more, it's time to make a move. The Molson Indy, tomorrow at 5 on ESPN.
Welcome back. Earlier in this edition of SportsCenter, we talked about the 1969 Miracle Mets as they squared off against the team they beat in the 1969 World Series, Baltimore. Also, we earlier told you that the Braves beat Boston as John Smoltz reached the 200K plateau for the 4th time overall, but just the 2nd time in a row.
Did you know Tom Seaver holds the record for most consecutive years with 200 or more strikeouts with 9 from 1968 to 1976 with the Mets? Seaver struck out more than 200 batters a total of 10 times in his career. Nolan Ryan has the Major League record for most 200K seasons with 15.
That'll do it for this edition of SportsCenter. Thanks for watching. I'm Bill Pidto.
I'm Andre Aldridge. Enjoy the football on Saturday.
This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.